All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Workbench, your resource rich weekly podcast and newsletter for home service owner operators. Really excited to be joined by Jonathan Bannister today, founder and CEO of TopServe Digital. As always, the Workbench is brought to you by Lee Truffle. Lee Truffle helps local businesses convert website traffic and missed calls into paying customers using 24/7 AI powered texting. Jonathan, you have a really interesting insight. You've been in the home service and digital marketing space for many, many years now, but it sounds like what you're really focusing on with TopServe is video and how video can drive new business for these home services companies. So before we dive into that, Jonathan, give us, if you can, a little background on yourself and your business, and then let's get into how video can help grow these businesses.
Absolutely. Well, first I want to say thank you for having me on today. Just up the road in Dallas from you. So welcome to Texas. That's what I'll say, Brian. So I've been in this space since 2015, 2016. I was actually a police officer before I got into this space. I didn't have my background was really in sales forever, and then went into law enforcement. And then when my wife and I had 3 kids in 3 years, and she's like, what you gonna do? You know, they're shooting cops for fun. Like, I just don't think it's cool that you don't make any money and your kids aren't gonna have a dad. And I was like, all right, well, let's find, I'll consider doing something else. And this just kind of fell in my lap. So my knowledge of digital marketing was super, super limited when I started this 10 years ago. And but I think that's a good thing, because I've been a sponge and I've learned and I've grown tremendously. But what I do care about is being a small business owner. Like, I care deeply about our clients, and they're typically super hardworking blue collar people that want to take care of their families and take care of their employees and things like that. So that matters to me. And so we've pivoted over the last couple of years to just go super hyper focused on video, because we feel that video is the best way to tell your story and to really separate yourself from the competition. And I think that's what matters more than anything, is you do have to tell your story, and people have to get to know you, especially with PE becoming as prominent as it is today, that all these companies are getting bought out by PE. And when they come in, it's their processes and it's their procedures and it's their team, and there is no personalization. And so whatever your small town family oriented company that you once had will be gone. And in more and more, every day that's taking place. Those family run businesses are getting bought out by PE. So I think this is a perfect time and opportunity for home service company owners to, if you don't plan on selling to PE anytime soon, or you do have the next generation that's going to be taking over your company, I truly feel that you have to get out there and tell your story, and you have to start focusing on brand equity instead of lead generation.
For most people who are dabbling into digital marketing or providing digital marketing services for the home services space, I think the big things are SEO, the big things are meta ads, Google ads. Talk to us around how you're thinking about video and the value of video as a medium for these businesses. And then more specifically, okay, I made a killer video, Jonathan. What do I do with it, right? Do I just throw it up on my Instagram and the leads come flowing in? Like, what's the utility of video for one of these businesses?
People that are listening to this, if they do have a little deeper understanding of marketing, so they've heard terms like impressions or clicks, and that gives them like PTSD or something, because they're like, I don't care about an impression. I don't even know what an impression is, or I don't care about clicks. And I get it. And that's kind of what I tell my account managers, not what I tell my media buyers, because they do care about impressions and clicks, because that's telling the story of, is the campaign getting better, or are we on the right track? But our clients don't care about that. They care about phone calls, and they care about booked jobs. So when we start talking about video, and you ask the question, like, great, I got this great video, what do I do with it? Well, the best thing you can do with it is you got to get it in front of your future customers. So taking a video that goes viral really means nothing to me if I owned a plumbing company, because how many of those views that it actually got were actually in my local market? But what you do is you want to try to be a local celebrity and make sure that the videos that you are putting out, you're locking down your perfect service area or your perfect list or audience of people. And you got to make sure that you're shoving it down their throat as much as you possibly can. I would say tell stories, create funnels, right? So like, these words like funnels get thrown around in the marketing world. So just think of a funnel as a true oil funnel, right? So you put an oil funnel in, it's got a much wider mouth at the top, and then the oil goes down so that it doesn't make a mess when you're putting it into the car. Well, that's the way that the funnel needs to work with these videos is top of funnel. You need to get as many people in that as you can. So think of, like I'm in Dallas. So if our client said, well, we do all of DFW, which is a huge area, 7 or 8 million people. But if they're like, I'm willing to drive anywhere in the Metroplex. Okay. So in that case, you want to try to get your video and you want to try to target all of Dallas. All right. And it's like, I don't think it's super smart, but you're going to basically tell the algorithm, look, there's 8 million people. I want to try to get this video in front of many of them as I possibly can. But the purpose there is like that video needs to be informative. It needs to be educational. You don't need to run that video with an offer. So that's what a lot of companies make a mistake is they actually start with a new air condition replacement for a financing offer, payments as low as $89 a month. And they're trying to show it to 7 million people that don't know you, don't like you, don't trust you. And oh, by the way, they don't need you because they were on Facebook or they were on Instagram or they were on YouTube. They were looking at cat videos. They weren't looking for a new air conditioning system. So that traffic is so cold and does not need you or want you. And then, well, it didn't work. And it's like, well, of course it didn't work because you tried to jump in bed with them on the first date, and that's not the way life works. So you have to warm them up. You have to educate them. So really creating that funnel effect and going, look, what am I selling? And it's like, oh, I sell roofs. I'm a roofing contractor. Great. Well, then start from the problems. What are some problems that you see here in Dallas with people's roofs when there's a hailstorm that takes place or a big thunderstorm comes in? Educate people, shoot video content and show them, hey, look, I'm in Plano, Texas. I'm in Frisco, Texas, and I'm on a customer's roof right now. And I just want to show you that these little knock marks, that these strike marks that you shoot, this is from the hail hitting the roof. And if it's larger than a certain size, these strike marks, then it's moving the shingles. It's good. You're going to have an issue. You're going to have leaks soon, whatever it is. I'm not a roofing expert, but what I'm telling you is educate people. And the more value you can bring them, they go, wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I wonder how many of those are up on my roof. Like instead of going, hey, we're going to do free roof inspections, like sign up and we'll come. Or I saw one the other day and it's actually a company I've been trying to work with. So hopefully if they ever hear this, I'm in front of them, but I do still want your business, by the way. It said, get neighbors in your neighborhood are getting new roofs for as low as like for as much as 90% of their roof paid for by insurance or something. And I'm going, man, it may be great. That may be a great program or whatever they offer, but you're showing it the wrong way, because if you would have educated people, then you would have shown them middle of the funnel, right? So what you do is you take this large audience, you're educating them, you're providing value, and then you tell the platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it doesn't matter. And you go, listen, anybody that is interested in that video we showed, so it could be anybody that watched more than 20% or 50%. I mean, you can set whatever parameters you want, but you go, anybody that watched a certain percentage of this video that makes us happy, now I want to retarget them and only them, and I want to show them something else. And then in the middle of funnel is where you build trust and credibility. So this is where you would show happy customer testimonials from some of your customers and what we like to call the story brand video. We want there to be a story that tells your story of your business, why you got into it, what your employees mean to you. Is it family run? Is it female owned? Is it veteran owned? But like, tell that story of who you guys are and separate yourself from the Walmarts, the big corporations, the PE groups. Tell them why we're different. Again, you're not trying to sell them anything. You're just telling the story. And then, again, the algorithm, you go, okay, anybody who's now watched top of funnel and middle of funnel videos, we want to create a special audience that we call the bottom of the funnel, or BOFU, right? It's tofu, tofu, mufu, BOFU for middle of the funnel. Bottom of the funnel, that's where you put offers, but only at the bottom of the funnel once people have got to know you and trust you a little bit. And so I think that's the big piece that people make. And look, you don't have to use a fancy dancy video company or a marketing company. Like, if you want to do it yourself, do it yourself. Go create video content of problems that people have in your area, shoot that video content, upload it onto these platforms, and say, hey, look, I want to target everybody in this area and I want to show them this video content. And I promise you, if you provide value, they'll be interested. They'll either follow you, or you now got them into a retargeting pixel and you can show them other content.
I have a couple core pieces of the video marketing funnel I want to discuss. I think two that come to mind are one, content. I think for anyone making video, I've made plenty of videos in my day, but I think particularly for a home service owner who's not maybe not that familiar with making videos. Maybe they've never filmed anything before. I think content would be a big question. But what do I shoot, Jonathan? How do I shoot it? Do I need to hire a camera crew? Just a lot of questions there. And so maybe let's start there. But then I do want to get into this idea of like using the videos to ultimately drive sales, which I think is the goal of any marketing effort. And what you touched on there about retargeting people who are reviewing the content on social, super interesting. I personally am not a particular I'm a terribly handy person. I'll do some things around the house, but watching professionals put up a roof, watching professionals do electrician work, plumbing work, I find it very fascinating because it's just so outside of my skill set. So I know the exact type of videos you're talking about. I've watched tons of them. But let's start with content, Jonathan. What do I shoot, man? I mean, do I just take a video of my truck and put it on Instagram and I'll get customers? What do I need to be shooting?
Well, look, if this was a couple years ago and you asked that question, before AI was huge onto the scene, I would just simply say, one thing you can do is you go to, if you're the business owner and you do roofs or you do plumbing, right now, go to Google and type in, now you should have these problems yourself, because all you got to do is go to your team and you go, hey guys, look, let's go through objections that we've had this week. Go to your sales team and go, give me the objections that we had this week. Go to your CSRs and say, the complaints that have come in, give me the complaints this month that have come in, the problems that our team had that failed in the field, or the service calls that we ran this month. Let's see all them, because that was a homeowner that called and said, I have a problem, or this is broken. And then so that's video content that you could shoot. Hey, listen, we got a call from someone in Plano, Texas, and their sink in their kitchen was dripping. And so when we got there, we thought it was just a leaking faucet, but actually we found that it was something with the garbage disposal that was causing this issue. And this is what we did, and this is how we fixed it. And so if you're experiencing something like this, this is how you fix it. Because now you're putting the power in their hand, you're educating them. They're like, oh, I've had that same problem, or I'm having that same problem now. Like, that's video content. But you could go to Google and you could type in plumbing company near me, or plumber in Dallas, Texas. And if you scroll down the page just a little bit, there's a section that's called People Also Ask. And that is going to be real questions that people have asked that Google sticks in that section. So now if you've got people asking questions like, how much does it cost for a new air conditioning system in Dallas, Texas? Well, shoot video content on that, and Google will love it, because now you are giving part of that EEAT, which is the algorithm of Google right now. You're giving experience and expertise and trustworthiness. You're nailing all of the algorithm by answering questions that people on their platform are asking questions to. But now with AI, I mean, guys, just open up ChatGPT or one of the other platforms, and you just simply say, give me some super hyper relevant content that people in Dallas, Texas are asking about roofs, or what is some content that I can produce that is going to provide value and help build trust with my local, plumbing company or roofing company. And you could sit there and play with one of those Perplexity or Gemini, and you could just go all day and get all the content in the world. So today it's almost like people that don't know how to do something. I just go like, I have no sympathy for you, because you can get a full blown college education on YouTube if you really wanted to, right? So today, if you don't know what kind of content to shoot, it's just your fault, because you can go to AI and ask it, but also look at platforms, Instagram and TikTok. You can go and get the trending content that people are shooting right now, that people are engaging with, and you can pull all of that information. And I'm telling you, look, we do video and we charge a lot of money to do video, and we shoot really good video, but you could just do it from your cell phone, right? You can shoot it from your cell phone, get yourself a mic, a $10 or $12 mic that you can clip right here to your shirt, and just shoot relevant content that's relatable to your market. And that would be step one. Like, just help people. And the more you help people solve a problem that they either are having or potentially have had in the past, or I guarantee you will have in the future, you're providing value, you're strengthening your brand by doing so.
When it comes to taking, I think that what you broke down, the process of use videos, top of funnel, drive education, drive awareness, drive trust with your potential customers, and then use other means to move them through the funnel, so to speak, and convert them, was very interesting. What have you seen be the best process to go, okay, I'm making this great content, I'm getting views, I'm getting engagement from potential customers. How do you then bridge the gap from that piece to, okay, wow, this person's, ready to buy a roof from me?
So for us, like, when we're working with a client, we want to understand what is their end goal. What do they want to happen? Right. Well, like you said, what do they want? They want sales, they want leads, they want revenue. So then we go, okay, what is the most important, or the 80-20 rule? Which services do you offer that makes up 80% of your revenue? Because that's where we want to focus. So if it's an electrician, then they want panel changeouts and they want generators. So we are going to come in when we shoot video content. We're going to get to core assets, right? We need testimonials. We want service page videos, because still to this day, your service pages on your website, your AC repair page, your plumbing page, those are going to be the most important pages as far as Google and the search engines go. And so we want to create service page videos. And then we want your interviews to create your story brand. So we're going to get those core assets. But then past that, we go, okay, we know that these two services, which is generators and panel changeouts, that's what's going to drive revenue. So when we go there, we specifically start crafting that funnel, and we go, okay, let's create 5 to 7 educational pieces around that particular service. All right. So if you're a roofer, like, roofing change outs, a new roof replacement is going to be your biggest ticket item. So again, its examples would be, how do I create 5 to 7 videos that would educate someone that they potentially need a new roof? Well, it's get up there and it's talk about the common problems that you see that people don't know, because the average person doesn't get up on their roof that often, right? I've never been on my roof before, so I don't know what the hell it looks like. I don't even know what color shingles I have on my roof. So it's like, when I can watch some video content that may pique my interest, or go, oh, I don't know. And I don't want to have $50,000 worth of water damage when I could have just got my insurance company to buy me a new roof, because I actually do have some damage up there. But it's from education, because guess what? The door knockers that come by my house, like, that's frustrating, right? They all like there's roofers, there's pest control, like every day it's someone knocking on my door. So unfortunately, even though where the door knocking strategy has very successful numbers, I think it causes people like myself that I'm so bothered. Like, I don't want you to get up on my roof and go look and tell me anything, because there's 100 of you knocking on my door. But if I was to actually stumble upon a video that got targeted to me, because I live in this city where that company is focusing, and it's educational, and it comes from a very neutral place that doesn't make me feel like they're trying to be scammy and sell me. And it's like, hey, it's Brian with ABC Roofing. And today I just want to, like, this is a common problem we see in the Frisco, Texas area. And so I just wanted to kind of show you what this roof and shingle looks like and what it should look like and then what could potentially happen. Man, I would just be like, man, that was interesting. And I may move on. And that's typically what people are going to do because now they may click the link and then sign up for a free roof inspection. That would be great. That's a lead or a potential lead that comes from top of funnel. I mean, that's great. That's kudos. But what typically happens is I will move on to the next video or keep searching or whatever I was going to do. But because of that retargeting pixel, because I engage with that video, now a couple days later, I may see this cool video of Brian and his wife and his new baby and them talking about we own this roofing company and this is how we started and we, blah, blah, blah. And it's like now there's this personal connection that I've got to this roofing company because I saw these cool videos. And then a couple days later, I see this video testimonial of Brian standing there with this homeowner and the homeowner talking about like they had all this damage to the roof and the team came out and they got it replaced in 2 days and they were so respectful of my home and my house. And man, this was a great experience. And I've never had to go through this before. And I hope that I maybe don't have to go through it again, but Brian and his team made it amazing. Well, guess what? Now I'm bought in. And now where I was curious about that first video at the top of the funnel, now I'm going to be way more open to potentially clicking on the form and just getting someone out here for free to give me an inspection. But wait, there's more because if I don't take action, then a couple days later, I'm going to get something that's sent to me that's like it could be $500 off a roof repair or some kind of offer my way to incentivize me a little bit more to take action. And it could just be we're offering free roof inspections, but ours is different. And what we do is we get on your roof, we video the whole experience with this camera that's strapped to our chest, and then we'll actually sit down with you and show you and walk you through exactly what we found and what it means and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, I'm in because they walked me through a process that showed me who they were, what kind of work they do, who they are. I got to hear from their customers. I got to see Brian and his family and his kid. This is the company that I want to work with.
Let's talk about channels. When it comes to short form video, the big ones are obviously Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Those seem to be the big four. Where do you see the most value in posting? Is it to go all in on one channel, post across all of them? What's the channel mix for you and your clients?
You got to be omnipresent. All right. And so you got to figure out your budget. And does your budget allow for you to spread yourself across all platforms and on paid ads? But if you're talking about organically posting and in short form specifically, yeah, like you need to make sure that you're putting it out on all of them. And you need to really watch because what short form and how it's shot and what you put on Instagram is going to connect or affect people differently with engagement than it will on TikTok or YouTube. So you just really, there's a science to it and but you don't have to have an expert manage it for you. You just got to look at what the data tells you because the platforms will give you all of the information. So you look at the data and you go, okay, I posted the same video and I posted it to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I got way more engagement over here than I did on this one. Well, just like, what does that mean? Right? It means that the audience over here liked the way that it was shot or the way it was edited. And then that is hitting a whole lot harder on this platform. So you just know, well, I'm going to go post some more. And then when you find the one that hits a certain way on Instagram, but it's not hitting as much on TikTok, and you go, great. Now I'm going to have to maybe tweak the way that I'm saying a certain hook or the way I've edited this. And I may just have to tweak it a little bit to make sure that it sits one way on TikTok and a different way on Instagram and can still get a ton of engagement. But at the end of the day, you need to be on all of them. And our philosophy at Top Serve is to be super omnipresent because your customers are everywhere and you need to be wherever they could possibly be. You cannot be one dimensional. I think the word impressions, like, again, gives some people a bad feeling because they've heard marketing companies over the years go like, let me tell you how many clicks and impressions we got this month. And they go, my phone's not ringing and I've spent $5,000 to you and I haven't gotten any money back. But when it comes to videos, I want to tell people you have to talk about impressions, and you need to go get the amount of impressions that you need to in what I like to call brand dominant. And if you want to dominate your local market, there's a number out there, and you can use AI, like get in Chat GPT and go, listen, I live in Portland, Oregon, and more specifically, our office is in Clackamas, Oregon. The metropolitan city close to us is Portland, and I've had an air conditioning company for 10 years, and this is the name of it. And here's some of my top competitors in my market. And can you tell me how many homeowners are in Clackamas and how many is in Portland? And can you tell me how many are renters versus homeowners occupied by homeowners? And if I wanted to be the brand dominant company in my market, what would I need to do? How many impressions would I need? And like, where would I need to spend money on those impressions? The AI will tell you. And like at the end of the day, it's like, look, if you want to be the brand dominant company, it may say you need 1 million or 3 million impressions a month between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And it'll break down and even tell you like where you should get those impressions from. But look, like you have to touch people. And here's what I'll tell you. And we'll talk about it a little bit, I'm sure, but I've got a new book coming out. And the big thing in the book that I talk about is in business, from the beginning of time, it has always been said, I think it's 5 to 7. 5 to 7 touches is what you had to do for someone to remember your business or move forward to do business with you. That number is so extinct at this point. The number today is 16 to 18 times. You have to touch people 16 to 18 times for them to remember who you are because of short form content, because you can swipe right to get a girlfriend or a wife or however that process works. Because people get on TikTok and just go boom, 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 boom. So I'm telling you, you have to, in order to get sticky with someone, for them to remember who you are, a lot of touches. And it's like, okay, so you may want to start thinking, I'm in Clackamas. Portland is just right over here, but Portland's got a couple million people. Clackamas has a couple 100,000 people. You got to start thinking, and this is what I'm going to tell everyone out there that hears this. Think about how many people are in your local market, how many are in your little small city. Oh, well, there's only 20,000 people that live in my city. And I just tell them, do 20,000 times 16 or 18. And that's how many times you have to, that's how many touch points you got to get. And then you go do the math of how much would it cost me to touch that amount of people that many times? And it's a lot of money. So stop thinking, I want all of Portland, or I want all of Austin and surrounding suburbs, or I want all of DFW, and go, how do I get my audience tighter? Let's find the right people and let's touch them from all over. They go to YouTube, they see us. They go to TikTok, they see us. If they go to Facebook, they see us. Like, you have to get to wherever they are, even on their big screen TV. Like, we're big on being so omnipresent that when we tap into roofs, so we do something that's called addressable geofencing, and I want to tap into the roof, and underneath that roof is internet and cell phones. So when we identify the roof that we want to go after, so a lot of our clients will do direct mail with. Well, if we go, okay, well, if we have targeted these homes for direct mail specifically, and there's 20,000 homes that we've said we are going to hit these people with direct mail every single month, these 10 or 20,000 homes. Then we go, well, let's tap into their roofs. The direct mail piece to me is like the billboard. It is the bigger advertising piece. It is something that somebody has in their hand. Traditionally, direct mail has a 0.5% to a 1% open or success rate. Like, it's not super strong, but it can be consistent if you're consistent with it. But then I go, how about now we go, those 20,000 homes that get a direct mail card, now we're going to tap into that rooftop of those 20,000 homes. They turn on their TV and they're watching Apple TV or Roku or Hulu. Our ads are going to be on their TV. If they go to their phone or their tablet or their computer and they search any website, then they're going to see our display ad. If they go to Instagram or Facebook, they're going to see our stuff on there, and it stays locked on there, and we touch them 4 times a day. And then depending on weather, because we've got a weather app connected to it. So if a hailstorm comes and they're a roofer, or if it gets over 110 degrees, which by the way, you're about to experience your first summer here. So have fun with that. But we can say, look, if it gets over a certain degree temperature, then we want the frequency to be 8 touches a day instead of 4 touches a day. And so that to me, and again, it's the right messaging because it can't, when you're touching people that many times, you're not putting coupons and offers in front of them. You're putting stuff that resonates so that they can remember you. People remember stories and how they feel from what they are watching from your business. In the book, I will tell you, I talk about brand equity and I see it in 3 stages. The worst stage is maybe you've touched the people once or twice or none at all. And even if your marketing company has you on page 1 of Google, and look, by the way, there's 4 pieces of real estate today on Google: LSA, Google Guaranteed, PPC, Google AdWords, Google Maps, and then organic SEO. So you could potentially have a spot on all 4 of those pieces of real estate. But even if you do, there's roughly 20 companies on one page of Google. So if you have all 4, there's still 16 other options on the page. So this, a lot of times when I hear companies go, yeah, my marketing company sucks. And then if we do look and they have pretty good results, it's like, nope, you don't have a digital marketing problem. You've got a brand identity problem. People don't know who you are. So here's how it works. You're new to Austin. So if you needed a plumber right now and you typed in plumber near me, it is straight up Russian roulette for you, unless the little short time you've been here, you've seen a certain truck go by or a billboard or some kind of ad that made you feel good. But they would have only been able to touch you a couple of times because you haven't been here long enough. But if you did, when you're searching on that page of plumbers, one logo or company name may stick out and you go, oh, I remember seeing this company. And you're going to gravitate to something that is, usual or that sticks out to you, right? The second level of brand equity is, let's say you've touched that homeowner a half a dozen times, but it's not strong enough that they remember your name of Shankman Plumbing, right? They don't know it's Shankman Plumbing but if they saw your logo, they would 100% know because you have touched them up. So again, they go to Google, plumber near me. They're hoping that they see that name that they remember. And when they see it, they're going to grab it. But they couldn't remember it strong enough that they type in your name directly. But the strongest version of brand equity is they've never used you before. You've never used the plumber before, but they know your company name, whether they remember your jingle or whatever the hell it is. And they specifically type in your name. I call this the Chick-fil-A or McDonald's effect, because any kid in a car seat that can talk, that's probably 3 years old to 7 years old, if you ride past a Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, they know what that place has. And there's not a chicken nugget, French fry, or hamburger on the logos, but they know what that place has. And then if you go to the next age group, 8 years to 12 years old, and you ride past a Starbucks, they know what Starbucks has, and it's a creepy little logo. It has nothing with a coffee cup or coffee on, but they know that place has coffee and they've never drank coffee before. So I tell people, you've got to become the Starbucks or McDonald's or Chick-fil-A of your market. And how do you do that? You have to put content in front of them over and over and over and expect nothing in return at that time. Because if you only shove offers, like, people aren't attracted. They go, oh, well, this doesn't pertain to me right now because I don't need a new water heater. I don't need a new roof. But if you give them content that makes them feel good and doesn't turn them off, then when they do have a problem, they're going to remember you.
Let's talk about tools for people who want to do this themselves. Rounding out here, Jonathan, I'm listening to you. I'm bought in. I need some video content for Brian's Plumbing. What are the couple tools I need to go get started shooting, editing, and posting content for my brand?
I would say you could use the cameras have gotten so good on the phones. Like, you could use the camera on your phone, right? You want to invest and go get a better camera. I mean, go down to Best Buy and just talk to the guys down there, some camera shop, and just tell them, Here's what I'm looking to do. I need something that's going to be durable, and I don't need something that's crazy expensive. And so get a camera, get a microphone, right? You can literally get any cheap microphone off of what do we shop off of?
Amazon.
Amazon, right? Like just type in clip on microphone and find something that's got good reviews that and literally you can connect it into your phone, the bottom of your phone, and clip it right here, and you can use your phone camera, and you've got great quality audio. But I think you need to really just focus on helping people and talking about problems that your customers have on a day-to-day basis. And what do you do and how do y'all fix those problems? And as much power you can put into your customers' hands, the better it's going to work. Do not be scared to teach people how to go do it themselves and think that that is going to cost you business. Well, I mean, if I tell them how to do it, then they're going to call me. Wrong. Because you could show me the easiest way to fix a leaking sink, and I will never fix the leaking sink. And my wife gets so frustrated about it, and I just tell her, listen, because what'll happen is I'll try to go fix it, and then I will cause more damage, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's an easy little fix. Why don't I get the professionals in here? They fix it, and we're good to go. Like my philosophy is really just probably me being lazy and not wanting to do it, but I think it makes a lot of sense. And I tell her, look, I don't want people to go do their own marketing. I would rather them let us do it. So I don't want to take away work from that plumber company. And she's like, you're so lazy. And I'm like, whatever you want to say. I'm just telling you that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Jonathan, for people that want to check out the book, tell us a little bit about that. And then also where can folks find you, your business on the web, the socials? Tell us about the book and where to find you.
Yeah, so the new book, it's got a very vulgar name, right? But the new book's called Fuck Digital Marketing: Why Building a Memorable Brand Matters More Than Rankings. And so you'll be able to find that on Amazon here in the next couple weeks. Possibly when this show gets released, it'll be around that time.
Yep.
But it will be in May. So sometime in May, the book will be available. Our website is topservedigital.com. And you can find me on social media. All of my handles are pretty much Jonathan is Marketing is most of my handles. So yeah, reach out to me, and I will tell you, I love helping people. So if I will not pass you on to a sales guy with me that wants to try to sell you. If you've got a problem in your business with your marketing, or better yet, if you've got questions because you don't know how to control your own marketing, or you feel like you're being told some lies, I love help putting control back into business owners. So I will teach you how to read Google Analytics, Google Search Console, to understand the traffic that's coming to your website. And that way you're not, blindly getting misled or feel like you're getting misled. I love putting that power back in the hands, and I'll do it for 100% free, and will sleep like a baby at night knowing that you at least have the power to go fix your own destiny moving forward. That's another thing with the book, the whole fuck digital marketing. I love digital marketing. It's been great for me and my family, but I do feel, and I told you before we went live, I do feel that it's caused more harm than good for business owners. I think and back in the day when it was just 4 verticals, yellow book, TV, radio, billboards, it was like you had to do those or you were going to die, unless you had impeccable product or service that you offered. You gave impeccable customer service. You had impeccable follow up and follow through. Like, you had to do things differently. And today I feel like, because of digital marketing, because there's all these options to buy leads, it's just, I just got to spend more money, but I can get more leads. And it's made people lazy.
Yeah.
It's made people not care as much, I feel, about their customers. And I'm not saying every business out there, and it's not the business owner's fault. I mean, to some extent it is, but it's like, this is the world that we live in. I mean, my kids are 100% raised and grew up on social media or the internet stuff, where I came in a time where the internet and social media was coming into play. And so people are just wired differently. And so these business owners that didn't know any difference, they've only been in business 5 years, 6 years, a couple years. That's just what they know. I got to use digital marketing, but I'm telling you, you need to switch your mindset and you have to start thinking about your brand, and you have to start thinking about, how do I get customers that are coming to me and only looking for me? And it's
Yeah.
not because they've ever used me before. It's because I have educated them. I've built trust with them. And I'm not going to play the algorithm or the Russian roulette of these platforms. Let me tell you, Google changes their algorithm all the time. Facebook has changed theirs. They've restricted what you can search for or how you can build your custom audience. Man, stop complaining about your marketing company and stop complaining about Google and start focusing on being the best damn home service company in your market, and people will just start looking for you, whether they're using AI to find Brian's plumbing company or they're using Google. That's what you want them to do, is you want them to go to Brian's plumbing company and not go, give me the best plumber near me, because then you're playing a game of somebody else's controlling your destiny.
No. Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate the time. And yeah, man, appreciate all the insights on video. Thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it, Brian.
All right.
Thank you.